Please be seated. I'm going to ask you to do something unusual. It's not that unusual, actually. Can I have everyone groan? Let's try that again. I want you to think about what you're going through, and let's together groan. So now you know that in our scripture, when it says pray continually, that is a prayer. That is a prayer. In fact, if you want documentation, Romans 8:26 says that the Spirit helps us in our weakness as it groans when no words apply. Groaning is a prayer, and it's okay. It's okay. You are right where you need to be. Just breathe again. Breathe. Feel yourself being right where you need to be. Stop judging yourself. But somehow you can't be where you are and how you are feeling right now. I too am right where I need to be. We are where we are. How we are. Right now, exactly where we are supposed to be. We resist this idea big time. Your clergy and delegates spent Friday night online and all day yesterday at Grace Cathedral in convention, voting on things that promote our diocesan strategic plan. A plan which is basically grounded on the concept that we need to be somewhere else. We need to have more collaboration, more healing, more justice. At our lunch break, we went out on the streets to join the millions of others yesterday with the very clear message that we are definitely not where we are supposed to be as a country. And add to that how you are doing personally, relationally, mentally, spiritually, economically. Are you really right where you need to be? I think we all want to scream, no! Absolutely not. Even Jesus came to change the world. But take a closer look at how he did that. He did that by being present to himself in the moment. Present to others right in the present moment. You and I are right where we need to be. St. John's is right where we need to be. We should not let this truth get suppressed simply because we are afraid of feeling uncomfortable, disturbed, upset, out of control, unable to see or feel our way forward. Be present to what you are wrestling with. Be present to yourself. Return to yourself. Let yourself be right where you are. Feel what you are truly feeling. Think what you are secretly thinking. Be present to yourself. Embrace the wrestling match that you are in. Know that God is in the wrestling. Jacob wanted to jump directly to being an exceptional leader of the 12 tribes of Israel. Not so fast. He spent his entire life running from his pain, his hurt, his family story. This grandson of Abraham, even from the womb, was late to the game, because the firstborn would be the blessed one. But Esau, his twin brother, had position on him. Even in the womb, Jacob was striving to enter the world before his brother by holding on to his heel. That's the meaning of Jacob, heel holder. The English form of Jacob is derived from the Latin Jacobus, ultimately from the Hebrew Yaakov. The name comes either from the Hebrew root kob, meaning to follow, to be behind, but also to supplant, circumvent, assail, overreach, or from the word for heel, which is akab. So in the story, Jacob at his birth was clinging to his brother's heel. He is the biblical character that best captures not just sibling rivalry, but family pain. Who is the blessed one? Who is the most loved, admired? Who is the outcast in the family? The one who couldn't quite make the grade? Or who made the grade but still felt radical emptiness, that there was something missing still? Jacob carried family pain and suffering. The suffering was so great that he would do anything to get his father's blessing. Anything. In one story, he convinced his brother to give him his birthright for a bowl of stew. Then, when his blind father was on his deathbed, he deceived him by pretending to be Esau, who was a hairy man. His mother, Rebekah, who was part of this deception, that's another story, she helped him. He put goat skins on his arms to duplicate Esau's hairy arms, so that when his father would reach out to offer the blessing, he would think it was Esau. He would smell and feel like Esau. You get the point. Jacob would do anything to get the father's blessing. By the way, if you think that the state of this country has nothing to do with getting the father's or the mother's blessing, look again. This is the story that is unfolding. We have an entire world yearning to be seen, loved, properly admired, and acknowledged. But what we know for a fact is that we cannot ever get enough of any of that in the outward world. The wrestling match is not an outward one. It's an inward one that God is right there in the middle of. For a real transformation to happen, Joseph had to stop running from his family story and turn and face it. He had to wrestle with a very mysterious figure. There are many rabbinical traditions. One says that this mysterious wrestling partner was Esau, his twin brother. One says it was an angel. One says it was Esau's guardian angel. Another says it was God. Any good psychologist would say it was his ego. It was probably all of the above. That's why it's mysterious. That's why it goes unnamed. Fun fact, there is a naming that goes on in this story. Jacob was renamed by this mysterious opponent. His new name was Israel, which means, wait for it, one who contends with God, one who strives with or wrestles with or struggles with God. Perhaps the good news is this. You and I are wrestling with God. God is right there grabbing us as we grab God. God is sweating on us, breathing in our face, flipping us on our back and holding us in ways we have never been held. God is profoundly with us as we wrestle with ourselves in the midnight hours. Because that is what it takes to bring transformation to our personal stories, our family stories, and the stories of our country and beyond. So don't judge yourself or feel there is something wrong with you as you moan and groan and struggle, as you grieve, as you hurt, as you question even God. There is a wonderful rabbinical story. A rabbi of the American Jewish Association who told the story about being converted at a summer Jewish retreat as a teenager, where the rabbi in charge basically said to the crowd, "How can you possibly believe in any of this?" That's where he started with all these youth. How can you possibly believe any of this? He understood that our faith comes within. It doesn't need to be shored up. We should be a questioning people. We are a questioning people, a doubting people, a struggling people, people that wrestle and contend with God. This experience of giving this young man an opportunity to respond to that is what led him deeper into his faith. You are wrestling with God. I am wrestling with God. Don't judge yourself. Be present to your struggle. Pray it. Journal about it. Talk about it. Have the courage to feel it, to heal it. Untransformed people cannot and will not transform the world. It begins with us. You know, this wound that Jacob ends up with was probably already there. It was there. It takes the form of a hip joint, which, by the way, is why Jews will not eat the sinew in a joint, because it's sacred. So that wound is sacred in their tradition. It's important to understand the sacredness of your wound. It's your destiny. It's why we're called to moan. You know, and as we seek to explore banner messages to put on our new bridge to say, who are we? It's amazing. I see themes arising in these small groups that we're gathering to discuss about it. It has nothing to do with having the answers. It has to do with holding the questions. We seem to love the idea that we are a church that does not leave our mind at the door, that we doubt, that we wrestle. One proposal was maybe a banner that says, "Join our atheist club." What more would say, hey, we doubt too, we question every concept. And as I like to say, what God don't you believe in? Maybe we don't believe in that God either. We are people that have questions. We are a church that is courageous enough not to run to the secure arms of answers, but are courageous enough to embrace the questions. We are a church that chooses belonging over belief. We would rather that your belief is that you are right where you need to be. And it's okay to be there. And you can be there in community because it's actually questions that create community. It's actually struggle that creates community and transformation. It's being together in our honesty. At St. John's, it's not only okay to be right where you are, it's celebrated. It's not only that all are welcome, but all of who you are is welcome. You are welcome to be right where you are.